Alrighty then, successful indie author, 5-minute focus, episode 534, rescuing a story. Oops. Wrong button. There we go. There's Stanley. I love him. Alright, rescuing a story. You've written your story and it doesn't seem to resonate. So, you got to take a look, evaluate it. What are the stakes? Do the stakes matter? Is it important that the reader keep reading because they have to find out what happens? That's the stakes. Make sure the stakes are big enough or clear enough at the beginning and not a lot of background and waffling that now the reader has no idea where are we going. And they're not going to follow you out of blind curiosity. They follow you because they care about something, because they want to find the answer and not just where in the hell is this book going. That's not enticing enough. Is a protagonist, your hero, relatable and likable? They have to be relatable. It's okay if they have flaws, not dog-killing flaws. Don't make that kind of protagonist. Now, Dexter as the serial killer, but he only kills other serial killers. So he's got issues, but he's doing redeeming things. Vigilante justice. He's winning. He's keeping us safe. And he's satisfying his own urge to kill people. So, very weird, but it works. It works really well because he's relatable and likable for all the things that we like, except for that serial killer part, but he focuses his evil for good purposes or for a good result. Does the antagonist have redeeming features? Well, what about these other serial killers? We don't like them either, but they have certain redeeming features. Nice guy. Hey, keeps people employed. He gives money to the homeless. Yeah, and then awesome. The antagonist, they've got to have some kind of redeeming feature. They can't just be all evil all the time. Okay, then all you just want to do is kill them. And it's like, I'm tired of seeing all the evil. Take care of it already. You want to give them a chance to grow. And the best antagonists do have that thing where you're not even sure, is this really the antagonist? Is the setting appropriate? Is the world building up to snuff? Are your characters marching through a place that could very well exist, whether it's a fantasy world, urban fantasy, historical, all of it, science fiction, far into the future, post-apocalyptic? Is it realistic enough that the readers stay along for the ride, that they can look at this and say, I believe? You're trying to get them to believe that your characters are doing these things in a world that makes sense. And then the flow. This is one thing that it's hard to pin your finger down on until after you've read it and say, geez, it just seems weird. It seems like it really dragged here, and then it picked up, and it was so fast I didn't even realize that I read 100 pages, and then it dragged for 50 pages. I started skipping, and then all of a sudden, hey, it started to happen again. You got to get that flow right, where you have action, counteraction, you have you have action, and then I already went through that. Holy cow! Brain freeze. I don't have COVID. You have conflict and resolution. You have tension and relief. There's all different kinds of ways to deal with the action that raises the pulse, but then you have to let it down. You can't raise it and keep it up there all the time. I know there are some authors who are extremely successful who do that. Look at the Fast and Furious movies. They start fast and they stay fast the whole way through. Okay, you're handling the adrenaline surge of the ex-gamers, but your general person needs that little bit of a letdown before you pick back up again, and you find that flow and that rhythm. So you don't let down, stay down, go down farther, and people are gonna put your book down, and once they put your book down, they're not gonna pick it back up. So don't give them a reason to stop reading. So get that flow and tempo correct. All right, rescuing a story. There's all different kinds of ways and things to look at. If you can find a few readers to read it for you, they will give you hopefully an unbiased view of, man, I really wanted to stop reading here. That is great input. And you take a look and say, it slowed down. It put the brakes on what was a great scene. That's like an action scene where all of a sudden you switch to passive voice. Passive voice in an action scene? Come on now. That's throwing out the brakes. Hitting the brakes. Is that really what you want? You want to keep the action moving forward. So those kinds of things. Rescue that story. Take a look. Unbiased look from readers will help you. Listen to that input. And the input's simple as, I wanted to stop reading here. Or it's just drags. This is good. Drags. All right. Peace, fellow humans.